Now, over 250,000 school-aged children have some form of dyslexia or reading and spelling disorder, and problems around literacy are estimated to cost the Irish state about €2 billion. Well, I'm joined now by a speech and language therapist who suffers from dyslexia herself, and after 27 years' experience of working with people with literacy problems, has now developed a new system of helping people learn to read. Rita Treacy joins me now, but first of all, Rita, thank you for coming in. We're going to take a quick look at a promotional video for this new scheme.
Hi, I'm Josh. When I was my little brother's age, I used to get mad because I couldn't read the instructions for my latest game. So Mom and Dad got us all to do their Wordsworth program. After only 14 sessions and some daily practice with Mom, the results were brilliant. My spelling was as good as kids my big brother's age, and my reading was even better than kids my big sister's age. So remember, Wordsworth works!
Okay, well, Rita, I suppose that's an ad for the new product. How exactly does this new product work? How is it different to the traditional ways that people have been taught to read and write?
Well, basically, as you mentioned, I'm the 10% of the population who will be classically dyslexic, and this was only identified with me in first year in Trinity College, having gone through, I was in primary school in the early 60s, and then gone through an all-Irish secondary school.
They never picked it up? Nobody ever picked it up?
Was never picked up.
Did you know yourself that you found reading and writing difficult?
I knew I was very different. I knew that when my pals in primary school were out playing, I was getting extra help for reading, spelling and tables, because sequencing would be one of the issues with dyslexic people. And then in a secondary school, when you're in an all-Irish school, you can camouflage things. And that's what I did. I hid the problem for a very long time, which is exhausting and traumatic.
How do you hide the fact that you can't really read or write as well as other people?
I learned a lot of strategies to hide things. Like, say, for example, when we had to read out loud in Irish, I had my best friend sat beside me. She'd whisper the word to me as I was going around. You know, that awful creep around the class.
Yes,
absolutely.
I do remember it.
And I used to do a lot of kind of my own form of mind mapping, so I was able to condense information and could do quite well in exams.
Yeah, clearly, if you got into speech and language therapy.
Absolutely, and that was a miracle in itself. There have been only 16 places in Ireland at that stage. But it was in first year in Trinity that it was identified that I had a difficulty, and it was the first time a name was given to it. The big problem for me, though, was that at that stage there was no real intervention. So I was told, right, you're 18, you're dyslexic, but there's nothing we can do about it. So that just heightened what I felt was the prison of shame. And this is a big thing with adults and with parents of children. There's a huge shame around the whole area of reading, spelling disorders and dyslexia. And I wanted to dispel that because there is a solution, there are ways out.
And what is that solution? How exactly does this work?
Basically what I've done is I use my own strategy, so I'm drawing from what I had to do myself, I'm drawing from my speech and language therapy background, the training that we had working on speech sounds as opposed to letter names. I've also gone through thousands of words and retrofitted rules to fit English. So things that aren't out there. So I would do a lot of kind of right hemisphere function, so bring a lot of association. So say, for example, a C rule. So the letter C, when it is followed by an I, E or Y, is always a sus out. So your name, for example, if it was written with a C, it would be Keelin as opposed to Keelin. So, but that's grand for students who don't have a literacy problem, who aren't dyslexic, because one of the key factors would be the issues with memory. So the Wordsworth Literacy Programme, which is on the WordsWorthLearning.com website, is teaches you strategies around that, and I bring in a visualization. So I basically have an I, which reminds you of the letter I, so C followed by an I, then the spelling of I, E-Y-E, gives you the other two letters, the word I. Does that make sense? So C followed by an I, E-Y.
It's complex enough, but yes. I mean, I suppose, are you fundamentally saying that what you're doing is clicking into the way dyslexic people would approach, or people with dyslexia
so
would approach
instead of having to learn off thousands of words, I give a formula that covers thousands of words. So, and the rule is that the whole program is rule-based, going from pre-reading, spelling, up to very, very advanced levels of literacy. And
does it work?
Well, it has been evidence-based. There's been a number of research projects done by myself and independently with very, very dramatic results. And again, the results of people who are interested are on the website WordsWorthLearning.com.
Okay, and you know, when you say it does work, are you saying that it's somebody who has a problem with literacy, like how quickly will they get to being able to read and write using this program? What is your research telling you?
My research is showing that it's spaced out over 16 weeks, so a student of normal intelligence that is following the program as it's designed over 16 weeks, there can be up to 4, 5, 6 years improvement in that short period of time.
16 weeks, that's
Yeah.
all really.
And
Does it work for kids who maybe don't have dyslexia or reading problems, just want to get a head start?
The NCC, the National Council for Curriculum Assessment, showed that 1/10 of the population dyslexic, there's another 20% at least, and they don't have full figures, that will be performing below their intellectual capacity. So it works brilliantly for those students. It also has been proved to work for students who don't have a literacy problem. Now, that child on the advert, I did it with him when he was 5.5, not because he had any difficulty with literacy, because a very bright child and wanted to progress.
To be as good as his big brother was. Yeah.
And over seven-hour sessions, so it was over the 14 sections, his reading was at 12.5, but he was only 6 years 3.
Wow.
And his comprehension was as well, so it's not just teaching the mechanics, it's comprehension too.
It sounds really interesting. That's the WordsWorthLearning.com. How much is it?
At the moment, it is €99 for a licence, which is a replica of 16 speech and language therapy sessions.
Okay, great. Well, listen, Rita, good luck with it, and thanks
Thank you very much
for
for having me on. Thank you.
Well, now to an incredible story. Wicklow man Simon Fitzmaurice, a talented and award-winning film director, was diagnosed with motor neuron disease in 2008. But it hasn't stopped him doing what he does best. He has written a full feature-length film called My Name is Emily and is hoping to raise enough money to start filming next year. Our reporter Aisling Reardon went along to meet him and his family.